Are you in love with your partner as a whole, or are you in love with the good side?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to our Life Out Loud podcast. This is our second episode, and it is going to be about being unseen, unheard. What's the other one? It's still showing up.
You have to show up.
We have to show up.
Show up this morning.
Yeah, and this is Pete, guys.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And this is going to be an exciting one, at least for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it all ties into like everything, but this episode is
a good one.
Yeah.
This one relates to me a lot. What it feels like to lose your voice in a relationship. And, it just a lot ties into that with building resentment and, how to separate peace and obviously like your voice, like, wanting to show up in a relationship. It's all going to just trickle into like a lot of stuff that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like separating peace and also understanding the difference between peace and silence, because those two things are completely different.
Yeah, agreed.
And I know like we had talked before, like resentment is like the worst case scenario, because coming back from that and those emotions that you develop and the hate and anger and like what throws you into that loophole is like,
it's so hard to come back from that.
Oh, I went through it, going through it. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I went through it. I know the feeling, and it's almost like a battle between them and you at that point.
Yeah, and there's like no meeting point. It's like you're both running, you're both chasing, you're trying to find an outlet, you're creating arguments that didn't even need to happen.
Right.
And all of that is built from like internally, right? Those arguments.
Yeah, that's like within you.
Yeah, because you're creating this whole tornado.
Sometimes scenario in your own head, right?
That's the worst part, because you're starting to overthink everything.
Yep.
What are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why are they running? Why am I chasing? Why are they chasing? Why am I running from it?
Yep.
And that is like a game that is played, I would say, more common than not, because people are just not comfortable with being comfortable anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. And, once you feel like you're not being seen or heard, forget it.
Where does that bring you? Like, what does that do for you?
So I'm a talker. You know what I mean? Like I really am. I might be an over talker sometimes. Like you have to really like, you have to feel out your person, but sometimes like, I just want to like talk it out. And usually men are avoidants and they don't know how to communicate.
Right.
And it's hard for me. It's a hard balance figuring out like what's too much, letting them process stuff when I just like want to like talk it out and like they're not ready. They need to process things usually.
Right.
Like, not that I learned that word process. I had to learn that. That was like a learned behavior for me, because sometimes I don't need to just like talk what I'm processing. And that's what I always do. And men are like, they're just like, it's just too much.
Right.
So it was hard. It's hard for me to like feel I'm being unheard, or unseen at that point.
Especially because you're trying to like let's fix this.
Like I want to fix it while we're like, I want to talk through the whole thing.
Right.
Like it doesn't, we don't need to process
I'm the same person. So when you say men are avoidance, I think I'm opposite.
Okay.
I'd say I'm anxious in a sense. Because, and then when anxious and avoidant are in a relationship, it is like a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
Like for me, it's like, well, why when I bring up something or I want to talk about something and I tell you about how I'm feeling, why do you switch to like how the weather was today?
I know.
What are you even saying? Like, I'm not attacking you. And I think that's where that comes from somebody who doesn't want to address what's going on, is like, because I tell you I miss you, or because I tell you about how I feel about something you might have done that upset me, this is not me attacking you. This is me trying to explain what's going on in my brain.
What do you think that is when that person does that? I know exactly what you're talking about. They'll be like, it'll just be like.
Well, for me, I think, especially in situations that I've been in, and relationships that I've been in, their safety is what they know. And if what they know is, let me just live in my space, let me harbor all of my emotions and bury them, because and maybe we'll disagree on this because I've had this talk with quite a few people. If you are harboring something from your past, whether it be a childhood, whether it be, something that happened in your adult life, are those emotions and are those situations reflecting on what's going on with you now?
Yeah. And I don't agree with it.
I don't either.
I don't agree with it. Like some people are like had such a bad relationship prior to our relationship and like they just bring that shit into
right.
And it's like the wildest thing because I've had so many horrible things happen in past relationships and I don't even think about it.
Well, people bring up like childhood trauma and trauma, like I said last episode, is a buzzword, but I tend to disagree that trauma is why you're acting the way you're acting now. Yes, does it have some factors and there's some variables? For sure.
Okay, yeah.
But I think people act that way to bring it back full circle. It's their safety is, like I said, what they're comfortable with. And they don't want to be faced with real relationship problems, real relationship situations. So they just run from it. And like we said, avoid confrontation.
Yeah.
Because they can't process it.
Right.
And what happens for them is when they harbor those emotions and harbor those feelings, what do you think happens? They get depressed. They get anxious. They wake up not feeling good. That's a problem.
That is a problem. And I think the other problem is the resentment builds, but I know how to, I feel like I know how to like stop it or like, let's fix it. And other people don't.
For me, from a man's perspective, when I start feeling that way, I'm searching for an answer. Like, why are you acting this way?
Right.
And I would say my downfall is I continue with it. Like, I am like, I don't know how to sometimes differentiate, like I said before, that silence or that peace, because somebody who doesn't want to address it, they're going to shut down, right? That's like a step in the process. They're like, I'm not dealing with this. In fact, I'm going to leave your text on unread or read one way or the other. And I'll text you tomorrow like that never even happened.
Right. And then that's the worst feeling. And then that's what why the resentment builds. And that's why we then don't talk about it or bring it up or, want to interfere in their busy day because that they have a lot going on.
Excuses.
Right. We're making excuses for them and we're dumbing down our light so we can make them feel comfortable.
And
that's fucking bullshit.
They're bringing you into their darkness. 'Cause
I know.
Like for me personally, I will forgive and forgive and forgive because maybe that's my own stuff from my own past, but I'm at a place where like I truly see the good in people. And when I'm in a relationship, I'm willing to unpack all of that together.
Right.
Move it into the house, unbox it, let's work through that stuff together. I don't care about your past. I don't care about your drama. I want to learn all that, and when you start talking real relationship situations where you have to communicate, you have to compromise, and you're not getting that. And for me personally, I continue to chase.
Yeah.
And that's where my resentment builds because I'm like, here I am giving you everything that I have, all of my heart, all of my love, all of my loyalty, and you're acting as if it doesn't even matter.
It's interesting hearing this from a perspective from a man because I always think that this is just men, like how men act, and it's funny seeing that women act this way too.
I was the opposite, and it took me a lot to get there. It took a lot of self-reflection. It took a lot of heartbreak, and
heartbreak on what end? Your heart?
My end, because
you broke your own heart almost.
My own heart, because once I start realizing what I was doing to people and what that actually causes. And now I'm on the other side of it where that person is projecting that onto me. I'm like, wow, this is insane to me. And, nobody really wants to hurt people. I think a lot of that stuff comes from the individual themselves, meaning if someone is acting that way towards you, it's not necessarily that they don't care about you.
No.
It's just they're not settled within their own emotion.
Right. Right. And that's what's really hard, right? Because that this person cares about you. And then because your brain wants to say like, oh, they just don't care, but they do. They do. They just, it's like.
But they don't say it often.
No. And they just don't know how to handle themselves, really, is what it comes down to.
And how do you fix that though?
You don't. Like you?
Correct.
You can't.
Correct.
And I can't, right?
That's why I bring that up, because I'm the type of person who's like, I can fix this person. I can fix this person. But no matter how much I love you, no matter how much I care for you, no matter how many times I'll drop everything. Like, I could show you an example. One morning, I wake up to a phone call and this person was panicking because of a situation. I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, coming home from work, and I was up at 7, driving an hour to make sure that person was okay, to make sure the situation was okay. That's the type of love that I give. And I think sometimes I put pressure on myself because I expect the same in return.
Yeah,
and that's not, it's not realistic, but
it's like, where do you draw the line? It really comes to, where do you draw a line in the sand when it comes to that? Because I'm the same way. I don't know. No matter how much I work or I'm tired or have stuff going on, it's like we make that time and we'd show that love above and beyond. And it isn't always reciprocated. And it goes into my personal life, friendships, work life. It's the same thing. Right. It really, so that's something I've had to learn how to like accept, that no one, not everyone's going to be like me, and still continuing to show up.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard the phrase cold violence?
No.
It's basically like a vague attitude. And how that plays into this is when you are starting to feel unseen, unheard, it's because your partner more or less is avoiding responsibility. They won't, there's no rejection. There's no acceptance. It's basically them saying, here I am, but you're not getting the internal piece of me. And what that does is that creates that hatred, that creates the disgust, the disdain in that relationship, because when there's no communication back and forth and you're left with the why or wondering, is this for real?
Right.
Like
I think that people just need to really like listen and not feel so attacked. I don't think it really comes down to, and again, I said it on the last episode, it's, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But even though I've had so many different approaches on how I approach a situation.
Right.
Crying, yelling, talking, right? As I got older, I learned how to like sometimes wait a couple days because my approach in the hot, heavy emotion phase is not good.
That doesn't meet me either.
No. So like, let me just wait a couple days or maybe like write it down. And it's the same with that person that we're talking about, that it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Their reaction is still usually the same.
Right.
Do you feel that way?
I mean,
like you could cry, I could come to you crying, I could come to you yelling, I could come to you very calmly, and that person still is an avoidant and still doesn't know how.
Sarah, I've struggled with this recently because I've tried every approach,
right? And it's still the same fucking result.
I've literally tried every approach. I have tried the distance. I've tried the silence. I've tried. All right, let me come at it from a different angle, or let me say this, where I'm now starting to overthink how I text this person, and
you're
I'm
like deleting, and then rewriting.
Yeah, to me that it shouldn't be that way. This is anytime you have to force something, it's probably not the right time. 2, is this for me? And 3, is this what I want for my future? Because at no point in a relationship should it be, I have to hide something, I have to not talk about something.
Not be yourself.
You shouldn't have to alter or change the way you approach a relationship to fit in somebody else's agenda.
Right. Right. Like how we said in the last episode, how they're renting space, in our, it's like, do you think that men and women cope differently? As far as like how you act, how you cope with it?
I do, because I think...
Are you destructive? Do you shut down? Do you beat yourself up?
For me, I think I'm really hard on myself, because I wouldn't say I shut down. I think I do the opposite. Like, but I will say for me is I'm the type of person who will try and try and try, and then it's over. I get to a point where I have so much resentment, which we're talking about, that I can't even look at you the same, because you'll tell me one thing or build me up. For example, I want to make a change. I'm going to show you when I get back. I'm going to show you. You'll see. They come back and there's no change.
Yeah.
And then they said,
there's
like we talked about last episode, we talk about the performance act. I'm sorry. I'll listen. I'll tell you how I feel. but then they don't do it.
Zero action.
To me, that's like, and I was going to save this for later, but I read a quote that like, it like really defines who I am, right? And
Is this the one yesterday?
Different one.
Okay.
But it says, a man is most dangerous when he's hurt. He could easily destroy everything around him, but instead, he puts on the biggest smile and destroys himself. That's me. So when I feel that way, I mean, that's truly me. And that hits because I would do anything for the person that I love. You know?
So I believe that men are protectors, providers, and all that, right? But I also believe us as women, because of that quote, it's so important for us to protect our men. It really is, because you guys, and you know this with the mental health stuff, right? You know this with the suicide prevention stuff. Men internalize things so differently. And it's our job as women to really protect our men's like hearts. You know
that's
what I
all
mean?
we want to do.
Yeah. And it's, for me, it's like my utmost like want to be as a woman, as somebody's woman. You know what I mean?
Which, do you think that's an old school mentality, or do you think
for sure?
Yeah. Which society now doesn't really foster that type of relationship?
Yeah. Like when I see my person struggling,
right,
and they're struggling maybe in the relationship, right? But like struggling, there's other things, right? You can't attack them. You can't. You know, you have to try to work with them, and you have to figure out the best approach to work with them in that area. You know what I mean? It's like, you can sit here and be like, you don't do, or you don't this and that, and you have to like, as a woman, you have to really take it down a notch.
Yeah, it's for me from the men's perspective. I think that my grandfather probably instilled this in me. You know, like. And he did it without words. You know, I watched both of my grandfathers, and the way their relationships were with their wives, my grandmothers, and I was like, man, that's who I want to be. And I didn't realize that probably until Savannah was born. And I said, that's the type of man I want to be.
Give me an example.
Just the small things, Sarah, all the way down to when they come in the house and give their wife a kiss on the cheek. Or when they're in the kitchen cooking, and the dynamics with like how that meal is prepared. The men does this and the women does that. Not saying there has to be genderfied roles. Right. But what I'm getting at is like the small things.
Like working together. That
let their spouse know, I love you, I've been in love with you, and that's never going to change. You know, I rarely saw on my dad's side, my grandmother and my grandfather, my nanny and papa, talk about their emotions.
That's an old school thing.
And as old school as my grandmother is, a little Italian lady, she would always let you know through her actions the way she was feeling. And for me, that's like a really special thing. And in today's society,
sometimes you don't always have to like talk about it, like how we're saying, like, you know.
But I could tell you this right now. My papa probably never felt unseen or unheard. Why is that? Why is that?
Because action.
And I'm not,
because yeah,
I'm not saying every relationship in today's society is like that, but I think because there's a misconception that this is the way it's supposed to be, or if something's not right now, right this second, well, I can just go on social media and be heard.
Exactly. And it's because, like, again, we talked about this, I think, a little bit in last episode, because you have to act the way you want to act, not based off of how they're treating you, right? So, like, if they're doing something that, like, upsets me or whatever, I see so much in today's society, people are like, oh, I'm not going to text her, oh, I'm not going to do this, or oh, I'm not. No, I'll continue to show up, not based off of how they're treating me. You know what I mean? As long as there's still a level of respect, right? Like if I'm not being disrespected, but you know, like we have stuff going on. Everybody has like their stuff going on in their lives. So as long as I will continue to show up, as long as I'm not being disrespected or whatever, sometimes you have to for your partner, you know? And it's like, I see so many people play that game. It's a freaking game, you know? And it's like, that's the silly part. And that's why things get so screwed up in a relationship. Because I see the younger ones just being, we still have this old school, because we've seen like our grandparents and stuff, you know what I mean? Like that generation is gone for the ones that are younger than us. So they don't, I don't think they've seen it and experienced it and really value it. But yeah.
At what point when you're going through this and you're trying to be seen and you're trying to be heard, at what point do you decide this is my piece?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the difference for you? Because I have my own perspective. What is the difference for you between silence and peace?
It's tough. It's definitely tough, but it's when I feel like I'm not at peace. You know what I mean? Like I then have to go silent. Like I have to do that. I have to, when I'm spiraling,
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's really hard to like separate the two, but I have to go silent because I'm no longer in, like, I feel like I'm not in a peaceful place for myself. Like I'm spiraling. My mind is like playing tricks on me. I'm like going nuts. I can't focus. Like that's when I have to like take it. I got a lot going on and so do you, you know what I mean? And we're parents and when I'm not showing up for my kid and when all those things start to really affect my business, well, for my son and then my my business stuff, that's when I have to go like, I need to
So for you, what is your peace? Like what makes you feel live and be at peace in a relationship? Like what does that look like for you? Or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. It's hard because it's always like two people and it's two brains and it's like it's always we're always questioning. It's hard to answer this because I feel like sometimes love takes over your peace where you think that you just are in peace, but you're not. You're in chaos because you love that person.
This is going to be perfect segue. This is going to be perfect segue.
So, you have to really separate the two.
Right.
And either your love can't take over your peace. So like when you feel yourself not being you, that's peace. And not peace for me. Like that's, I'm not at peace when I'm not being me. When I can't act the way I want to act or feel how I want to feel.
Right.
I am literally not me. Like, that's not peace.
Yeah.
That's me being like so much in the love side, right?
Of course. So like for me, and I bring that up, like, and I'm glad you said it, chaos. And I'll talk about the silent part at first, right? Like I was in a relationship and I was thinking about on the way here, like what if I had to pick up a word for what it was and it was a tornado, right? And the way I break that down to myself is on the front end, it's awesome. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. You're running around doing stuff together and you're talking about the future and it just seems so good. And then you start sensing the storm coming because you're getting emptiness in return, or you're getting certain characteristics are revealing themselves, with your partner, and it's legitimately like a tornado.
Yeah.
And
it's an attachment as well.
Right. And I'm the type of person that will rock through that tornado with you. I will stand there.
Do you feel like at peace in that tornado?
No. So what I'm getting at is you go through all this chaos and commotion and you're back and forth and then you get back on the same page and then you're in the eye of the storm, which to me, that's the silent part, right? You're in the eye of the storm. You just weathered something. You're trying to hold on for dear life, but there's more coming.
Right.
Right. So for me, that silent part is, and that could happen when you're at a crossroads in your relationship where you actually go silent.
Yeah.
Or it could be internal where you're internalizing those emotions and you're like, all right, here it goes. It's coming again.
Right.
And I'm going to put myself through this, although I should just run, right? But there's nowhere to go because you're in the eye of the storm.
Right.
So here you are trapped with those emotions and all you want is a little protection, a little shelter. Give me something that will hold me down so I don't literally fly up in the air. And then you go through that.
Yeah.
You go through that again and you sit through it.
It's when when you're in that and you're just like you're just not enjoying it. It's like, but you're there. It's like the weirdest feeling. You know what I mean?
But do you know what peace is on the flip side of that? Peace comes when you both understand that you just went through something rough. You went through something that you both probably couldn't have done alone. And the peace is rebuilding that house together. The peace is rebuilding that house together, accepting what happened, not posting blame, not creating scenarios that didn't exist, and actually building a true foundation in that relationship. For me, that's peace. Peace is doing life with someone you love, whether that person is yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, there's no way at all you can accept love from somebody else.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible to accept love, to own love, if you do not love yourself.
No. And there's so much to it, you know. You have to let people kind of rock through their things too and be patient, right? That's another thing. And it's like that anxiety of like, is this right for me? Is this going in the right direction? But you're trying to be patient with the other person and patient with the situations and scenarios. And then sometimes it doesn't work, right? Sometimes you're
because sometimes things aren't meant for you.
Right. And then sometimes they do, you know, and it's hard to like, where do you draw the line and be patient and kind of like understand.
That's a personal decision too, though.
That's a personal decision.
That is a very individualized decision that I'm still going through. And I'm still struggling at what point do I let go of relationships? At what point do I say, enough is enough, Peter? Because you do not want to lose yourself.
I was in a situation too like that, you know, and it's, the peace is on the other side. I can confidently say that, but like, it's hard. That's a hard, rocky tornado.
Because we're scared. Nobody wants to go through that. But I think the joy and the peace, like I said before, is building something special with somebody, and not painting the walls, not fixing up what's already broken, but literally stripping down what you have, whether it was destroyed for you or you have to redo it yourself, and making sure that the foundation is strong. Because when you run through a relationship and you have no basis to it, at some point the gutters are going to fall off. At some point, your pipes are going to break. At some point, that house is going to come down.
Right.
But if you build the foundation together, you know how it's built.
The thing about it is though, you cannot lose yourself in that situation.
Oh, I lost myself.
Yeah, it's hard.
I have.
You can't. Like, some things are not going to be perfect. And the beginning of a relationship, like, I don't know how long I would say would be the right, like, what's like, this is no longer like, it's time to like let go. You know, it's really hard to figure out that. I would say the first year can be rocky, you know, especially like at our age. I mean, I don't know, you know, whether there's like kids involved and other things and exes and stuff. But when it comes to like our age, it can be difficult getting in a relationship. We're not, you know, usually somebody I'm going to date is going to have kids or be in a crazy ex or whatever, you know? So it is tough, but it's not losing yourself in that. And that's what's freaking hard.
I could tell you, I've lost, there's times where I lost myself and I didn't recognize who I was and what I was doing. I'm like, Peter, this is not who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I have legitimately looked in the mirror and go, do not be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
And don't allow that person to make you or force you to become someone you do not recognize anymore, because that is dangerous. And coming out from that hole is super hard. You know, all I want to do is shine light on my partner. All I want to do is believe in them more than they believe in themselves.
I know.
And sometimes when we pick or choose the wrong person, and that's to be determined still, obviously, all they want to do is bring you into the shadows. And that's not who I am anymore. And for me, it's like, it does not have to be that hard.
No.
It doesn't. Relationships, of course, can be complicated, but through communication, through trust, through loyalty, it can be some of the best days of your life.
Well, I reposted that reel last night and it was like, I'll bring you to the light, but like, if you cannot recognize you and you cannot own up and you cannot be accountable, hold accountability to who you are, and you can't see what you're doing, then I'll let you stay right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's really what it is for it. Like, nobody's perfect. We're not perfect people. You know, we all make mistakes and we're all figuring it out.
Right.
But it's holding yourself accountable and like showing face to what you are and owning what you're doing.
Right.
I can't stand the you know, the person that just is never owning anything that they're doing, and they don't even see it. It's like, I want to bang my head against a wall.
It's a lack of accountability. And we could talk about that for hours and days, because, you know, we're always searching for the why, or is it that hard? But I think at the end of the day, and heard these questions, which I'll read off to you, and I want you to think about them while I read them, and then maybe we can talk about it. But question 1 is, if someone told you you're a lot like your partner, would that be a compliment? And maybe you heard all this, but
no.
Question 2, are you truly fulfilled or just less lonely? Question 3, are you able to unapologetically be yourself, or do you need to show up differently to please your partner?
Exactly what we just said.
Number 4, that's why I brought it up. Are you in love with your partner as a whole, or are you in love with the good side, their potential, and the idea of them? And this one should hit you hard, and it's going to hit me hard, is, would you want your future child or your child to date someone like your partner? So when we talk about showing up for somebody, who is it that you're showing up for? Are you showing up for someone?
You're showing up for that person.
Are you showing up for
to keep them comfortable.
Right. So for me, I'm no longer, if I'm not seen or I'm not heard, the louder I get is not going to change your viewpoint on me or what you want in life.
Yeah.
So we don't need to be louder. You don't need to text more or call more. You just need to let that person go if it's not there. And sometimes that's the greatest act of love, is like, I love you so much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let you do you.
Yeah. I mean, my situation was very similar to that. Like,
right.
You know, it was like, I show up, I have a voice.
Oh, I know you have a voice.
So like,
that's no secret.
Yeah, that's no secret. I'm not changing who I am, and I'm not going to not say what I need and want. And it's like, it's all on the table. And I think that would be like my biggest advice to everybody. Like, just constantly just, and you don't have to be a crazy girl. You don't have to. You can just continue to be you. You continue to show up. You continue to be kind.
Right.
You know me, I'm very all about my faith. So
which is important.
I pray for my
That's
people.
So important.
Yeah, I pray over them. I've prayed with them. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of people when they hear me do that, but it's
okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay to be uncomfortable.
Right.
That's what makes you comfortable.
Right.
If you live in such a comfortable setting, meaning you're in a relationship and you're afraid to be uncomfortable, you are in the wrong relationship.
Yeah. Yep.
You are.
Yep.
Because your partner should challenge you. They should hear you.
Yeah.
They should see you.
Yeah. And I was in so many situations prior to, that, like, I didn't want to make people feel uncomfortable, right? But I've learned, even in my workplace, everything, like, I'm not here to make people comfortable. And I could literally care less if you're uncomfortable about the elevation that I'm trying to bring to the table. It really doesn't, But I think so many people do that. I see so many. I have girlfriends that I talk to in situations, and they're like, they don't want to, and
they
I'm
don't
like,
want to rock the boat.
I'm like,
they don't want to rock the boat.
Me, or be direct. Just say, like,
they don't want to rock the boat.
You can sound like it's whether somebody's going to think you're being a, or they're going to think that you're being challenging and they're going to level up. Like, it's one or the other. It just depends on the person. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to be, a mean about it. You just be,
of course not.
Be who you are.
Yeah. And, going through all, everything that I've been through in relationships, there's no time. There's no time. And I don't want to say to waste time, because I think through every phase of a relationship or every chapter of your life, you should always learn something from that, no matter how good or how bad it was, and be grateful for those moments. Because, for example, I'm not with my daughter's mom, but I am so grateful for that person because she brought me my daughter, So yes, it didn't work out. Yes, we have a great relationship, and I used to not do that. I used to not find the beauty in every chapter. And I think that helps in your healing process as well. And there's no time to waste, like, life is so precious.
Right.
And I think what I do for work, I see that a lot, but don't waste time chasing or trying to be heard.
And I think that when going back to, you piggybacking off of you saying you lost yourself, and then me going back to saying, like, I was myself the whole time. And I can't say, like, there was times I didn't feel myself, right?
Right.
But if you do that, and if you stay true to who you are and stay true to the course of who you are and what you morally are inside, I think it's easier to let go when it's time,
I know.
You
but
know?
It's so hard.
I know.
It's so hard.
And it goes back to, I didn't leave because I stopped loving them. I left because I stopped loving myself there. And then you did everything that you could. And then it just makes it that much easier when it's time to go.
I know. Accepting that's hard though. Accepting that is like so hard.
Yeah.
But
because when you feel like you're not being yourself, that's when it should be. That's when the line should be drawn.
The light came on for me not too long ago. I mean, I was like, why I do this? Why? It's not supposed to be hard. Yes, difficult at times, but.
And especially, like I said, if in the first year, if you're not having fun and like, I mean, it could be really hard in the first year, but like, you should be enjoying it,
That's what it's all about. Learning what makes the other person tick, learning what values and what their core is about.
Yeah, I think that's the best part.
It's like the rotten apple. It's like the rotten apple analogy. If you picked up an apple, it's like looks beautiful on the outside, great, looks like you're ready to eat it. But if the core is no good and the core is rotten and brown, you're going to find out sooner or later. You are going to find out sooner or later.
But it's where do we draw the line onto the red flags, and knowing. And it's we avoid them every time.
Oh, I pick them up, put them in my pocket. I'm like, how many can I pick up? But I'm no longer going to do that because it's not fair to yourself. No. It's not fair to the person that you've been trying to become for me 38 years. That's not who I am.
Like, listen. When you get to the point where you're like acting like you're a psychopath at this point, like you're like losing your shit when I say spiraling. Yeah. That's what you should know, right?
Of course.
Whew,
of course.
That person? Me?
It's not safe.
I'm a lunatic.
It's not safe for yourself.
It's not safe. Like I could literally, I'm taking everybody down on the way in. Everything and everybody, It's like scary.
Of course. It's listen, I love what we're doing. Like here, it's good for us, obviously. Two, I think it's super important for and I'll speak on the men's side to not be afraid to be vulnerable in relationships.
You should
don't be such a hard ass that you build these walls and put on this facade and try to act like something that you're not, because deep down, dude, you just want to be appreciated.
Of course.
You want to be loved just like everybody else. And acting like you don't is only going to be detrimental later on.
You're the one that's going to be crying in your bed, like a mental midget. I call it.
Exactly. And yes, people are meant for each other. I get that. But when you find somebody and that connection's there, don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to work on what's most important.
Yeah.
And
ladies, talk to your men. Be their safe place, because they are internally screwing up big time.
For sure. I mean, it just does not have to be that hard.
No.
Be there for each other, show up for each other, and don't let that other person go unseen, unheard.
And still show up.
That's it. That's don't change who you are.
Don't.
Which I think next episode is going to be.
Next episode's good.
Cheating, ghosting, and growing the hell up. And I think that might be the most spiciest episodes of them all, because cheating and ghosting in itself are hot and heavy.
Yeah.
It is too common now. And
it's literally everybody's behavior for the most part.
And grow the hell up.
Yeah. Grow the hell up. These are people that you're dealing with. These are hearts. These are emotions. It ain't,
No.
I have a lot to say on that episode, actually.
All right. So perfect. Guys, next episode 3, cheating, ghosting, and growing the hell up. Stay tuned. We look forward to seeing you.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
See ya.